Black people are always looking for some sort of sports story to entertain them. Well, here's one that won't. Draymond Green is an NBA player for the Golden State Warriors. They won a series game against the Houston Rockets last night, and at the post-game press conference, a reporter decided that this was his opportunity to be totally inappropriate. Out of nowhere, this clod asks if the floods in Houston helped the Warriors to win. Draymond pointed out to everyone that this jerk had been asking him that same question all throughout practice and was even now still asking the same question.
Here's an interesting question. So last year you visit us. Game 3, there's no flood. You win. Game 4, there was flood. You lose. And this year you visit us. Game 3, there's a flood. You win. Game 4, there's no flood. Game 3 there's flood. You lose. Game 4, there's no flood. You win.
Brother,
so
you asked me about the flood in practice the other day. And I said I pray for the city of Houston because you don't want to see anyone go through that.
He further went on to point out that it was obvious this moron was fishing for a controversial statement and that he wasn't going to get it.
I feel like you keep trying to get at like us hitting threes or something and you're trying to get a controversial statement out of me, but you're not, because I feel sorry for the people of Houston. People are losing their homes, losing their cars, losing their lives, losing loved ones, and you're trying to get a controversial statement out of me about the threes we're hitting. I know what you're getting at, but you're not getting that out of me. It sucks. You keep asking me the same question about this flood. These people are losing their lives, bruh, losing their homes. Don't ask me that no more, because it ain't cool, and you're not getting the statement you want out of me. That's not cool, man. Stop doing that.
That's harassment no matter how you slice it, but it's far worse than that. After exposing this clown, the hack was fired, and that's when it came out that this chump worked for a Chinese so-called news agency. These are the same Chinese who made it their mission to help a murderer get away with it. Unlike Peter Liang, however, this time black men dominated the arena. The Chinese had to bow down. They know that all it would take is for one basketball player to give the word and an entire news agency's access would get severed. Floyd Mayweather did it, and it taught the news skanks over at ESPN some manners. Naturally, the white media took the racist side and immediately began trying to downplay the incident, saying that he made a mistake and that it was enough that he'd lost his job. Never mind that the people of Houston lost their lives. But this incident reinforces that this behavior by the Asians is no coincidence at all, because on cue, the Asian racists came out of the woodwork telling us that this was all an innocent question, that there was no harm done here at all, no mean intent, the same way murdering Akai Gurley was just an accident. They use this pathetic deflection at every turn, and it's time we started shutting them down, hard. In order to understand the ploy being used, you have to understand Asian culture, especially as it pertains to communication. The Asians, and those too dense to understand it, will tell you that they have to be oblique when they speak to others, and that they'll hide behind the old act about how they do it because for them it's just good manners. Courtesy is everything to them, so they say. But even that feeble dodge is all part of the scam. Chinese are banned, even from their own country, from traveling abroad because now they've become internationally infamous for their atrocious behavior. In Europe, in Japan, and in the U.S., everything from changing diapers in a restaurant to dropping trow and taking a dump in a stream in full view of the public to urinating in public trains and buses. In Egypt, they desecrate the monuments. Behavior that is punishable with prison time in their home countries, they do freely in other people's countries without a care. That's not a case of them not knowing any better. It's them showing total contempt for non-Asian cultures. So they can shove it with that crap about how manners are everything to them. When Asians talk, they are directly honest with each other all the time. It's only when they're around foreigners that they suddenly become inscrutable. If an Asian is not speaking to you plainly and directly, that means they consider you to be an enemy. This clown knew exactly what he was doing and why. What he didn't know was that this time he was dealing with a black man, and in an arena where the Asians can't put their thumbs on the scales. This time, we had the advantage. Black men need to understand that. Unless you have the power to exclude others, then you don't have power at all. The only reason this bastard was punished by his Chinese employers was because they were afraid of what might happen if they didn't. Black people need to get some perspective on this, because when the Indonesian tsunami happened, black DJs at Hot 97 in New York lost their jobs over a silly satirical tsunami song that didn't hurt anyone. And you didn't see black people defending those DJs' jobs either. Quite the opposite. Black people were only too eager to show their solidarity with the Asians. After all, people died in that tsunami. And you see how the Asians paid us back for that one, right? The reason I understand them so well is because I've closely examined how the Asians treat their own people in their own lands. And the history of intra-Asian relations has been the very personification of the phrase, no honor among thieves. That they would do something like this is them communicating that black people are not to be respected. We need to stop denying reality. We have two completely different value systems. Ours is inclusive and considerate. Theirs is exclusive and antagonistic. It's time for us to stop playing along with what we all know to be a fraud. Draymond had the right idea. When they tried these stunts, call them on it.